Hello, welcome back to ADHD Fabrication. Today we are working on Mr. King's 6.9 IDI turbo diesel swap. We need to button everything up so that we can deliver this F350 back to Mr. King. Let's get right into it. Everything else that I have to do shouldn't be any harder after having the front clip and radiator on. I would like to get the radiator in so that I can get the AC connected, the transmission cooler lines connected, and then the upper and lower radiator hoses connected, as well as all of the bolts for the front clip. Then it'll look like a truck again. There is some things that I will have to do after that before we can just, get in it and drive it, but all of those things can be done with this front clip on. So that's the route we're gonna take. Alright, I've been skipping some stuff just so that I can get this done and have the rest of the video be a little bit more interesting. We got the ignition switch to start solenoid figured out. I did not have continuity between the entire wire, so I was tracing it down. The neutral safety switch was entirely burnt. Somebody did a custom exhaust on this for the turbo, and when somebody at another point in time, probably the same person, replaced the neutral safety switch and left a bunch of dangling wires sitting near the exhaust that all melted through. This was my repair from earlier, which is on the neutral safety switch. The neutral safety switch I just tested, which I should have done before the repair, and it does not work. So it needs a new one of those. For the moment, I went through and put a jumper on the wire that runs through the neutral safety switch that stops you from being able to crank it. Woo! What that click means is that if this battery weren't so dead, we'd be turning over the engine. We're going to do a little bit of ether starting to get this jump started on priming fuel. Go ahead and crank. apparently we're not in park.
We've been in reverse the whole time? It looked like it was trying to go back.
Yeah, it was true. Alright, we got the engine running, and that's awesome. But we got it running on canned glow plugs. I would like to get the real glow plugs installed. I've got the relay installed, I've got power to it. All of this is out of the other truck, so I've got that plugged in, and I've got power running to the battery right there. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure which of these wires is for power and blah blah blah, but I do know how to wire a solenoid. When things are daunting and you don't know what you're doing, start with things you do know what you're doing. So I'm gonna start with this thing. Here's the check-in. I've gotten a bunch of stuff done. We got the battery mount that Mr. King built years ago back in. Got a second battery installed. Got our positive and our negative coming this way. Tracing along, as well as a couple wires in here. And then these bridge off and go to the positive and negative. We've got this solenoid completely wired up with a push button. Running over here. Both the green and the purple wire that you see right here do a V, and they run this direction. This purple wire, this is keyed power. This green wire is all brand new as well, and it's going to the switch that controls the glow plugs. I got the throttle cable that we need. I've gotten some good progress today. There's a couple of systems that are gonna need to be done before I can drive this thing out of my shop, which is really the ultimate goal. One of which being the throttle cable, another of which is bleeding the brakes, and another is the alternator setup. That'll be all for today, but we'll be back on this just like this. It's a couple days later. My shop is a wreck. This all needs cleaned. I would like to get this started and drive it out of my shop, but there's a couple things that we still have to do yet in order to be able to do that. Alright, I got the transfer case linkage put in, knob put on, the linkage going down to the transmission. I got that all hooked up and adjusted. I had to adjust the, the shifter on the column to the shift linkage to make sure that it would shift through all the gears. I also took off the fitting on the top of that, and it looked like my ferrule was sideways in it, so it did not seat correctly. I replaced the ferrule in that and think I reseated it. I'm gonna get this thing all hooked up to power, and then I'll crank on it a bit and see if it'll start under its own power. Okay, starting under its own power, test one. We'll give it 3 tries with no ether, just glow plugs. See if we can prime up some fuel and get it started. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it bled back on the fuel system. Attempt number 3. Alright, I'm gonna let those glow plugs cool off for a minute or two, and I'll give her a spritz of ether. Alright, those batteries are run down too much. This next one I'm just going to have to try to start it on ether. Let's give this a try. See if a little bit of ether, after bleeding the fuel lines, we can get it running under its own power finally. I got the batteries charged back up from killing them yesterday. Also installed the external regulator and got the wiring done for the alternator. What just happened? I think my arm just did like an armpit fart. Alright, so hold the gas pedal. I guess I can control the throttle from out here. Don't worry about that. Go ahead. Crank a bit. I didn't do a great job at explaining what happened here. I could not get this thing to idle for the life of me. The gas tank I plumbed the engine to seemed empty when I tapped on it, so I just put 5 gallons of diesel in it and assumed that there wouldn't be enough gas to bother this old IDI. Well, my going theory is that I was wrong and the fuel was too diluted for her liking. Filled the fuel filter with a little bit of ATF, and I put 5 more gallons of diesel in the fuel tank. So if it was too much gas in the diesel, now it should be better. I don't know. Still very much going to need to bleed brakes, but let's see if it'll start back up. Probably an hour and a half after it's been started, and if the transmission works. thing to tackle. Just pulled the key out of the ignition and now it won't go back in. I had to fish a chunk of the tumbler out of the ignition. Before I did that, I got the key spinning again. I'm gonna start it back up, check transmission fluid. All right, this weekend is the weekend that we should be able to deliver. I want to get this started. The batteries are still like junk. Pretty sure they've got dead cells. I haven't actually tested them yet, but you know, they're what I have. So even though they're junk, they keep getting charged. I talked to Mr. King. I let him know about everything this thing needs still. He said that my part is done. He just wanted the engine in here. And he said that the work that it needs now can be done later on. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing started. Do one more look over, make sure the brakes that I bled the other day work, because I still haven't tested them. And then we'll be ready to deliver this weekend. We'll see what we can do about starting it on just glow plugs, but I think it would have to crank too long for what these batteries have. So what we're gonna do is try it on glow plugs. If and when it does not start, then I'm gonna start it on some ether. I smell a little bit of smoke, but we're already starting to lose our batteries. These things definitely have dead cells. Well, let's take this for a test drive, see if the brakes work.
Where am I going now? Just falling over dreams. Now I'm just so far gone, this isn't what it seems. Taking me so damn long, it's fading from belief.
Well, I just pulled over to get some video. As soon as I put it into park, it died. I didn't even bring ether. Uh-oh, I gotta call for backup. Little phone clip. My GoPro died because I didn't plan on this being a long trip. We did get it started. Riley's gonna be driving the truck back. I'll be driving this back following her. get this pulled in here? Is your gate locked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a key in my damn pocket, but I don't have it on my keyboard. I got a grandson that used to work for Ford. He's pretty sharp on that stuff because he bought a 2005 Chevy. I don't know exactly what it is, but he turbocharged it, and then the fucking motor blew up on him. Of course, I think Dustin's got a little hot rod with it. So, a newer, bigger motor that would interchange, and then he found somebody to swap turbos with, so that he can put the turbo back on this new motor.
Is it a truck or a car?
Car.
Car? Huh.
He works in the oil field, so he...
Well, we were talking. Like any old man, he enjoys the talk. Which I get it. I'm pulling this truck around on his property now to get it parked. And then we'll be going back to my house. And then we'll bring the Ford Ranger on the back of the GMC bed truck here in a bit. Alright, there she is, delivered. Get Mr. King his other truck delivered. We're back on Mr. King's property. We've got the backhoe. I think it's something like a 38 foot. So Mr. King used to own a trucking company. And the story on this trailer is that he bought it, he used it for a couple of loads, and then he sold it to somebody that he knew. 15,000 cash, maybe it was 20,000 cash, I don't remember exactly. Essentially what happened is he sold it to the guy. That guy used it for about a year, and then was in a town to my north and did not have fuel, so he had to borrow fuel for his truck from the weigh station, and he left this trailer there as collateral. Well, the guy never came and paid his fuel debt, so this trailer stayed there for a very, very long time. Fast forward about 6 years, Mr. King gets a call from said weigh station, and they say, hey, we've got a trailer here. A guy borrowed fuel from us, left it as collateral, and then never came back. We were about to take it to an auction because it's been sitting here for so long. When they looked up the title, it came back as in Mr. King's name. So the guy that bought it from him never switched this to his name. And they said, hey, are you willing to switch the title? Or he said, no, I'm on my way, I'll come pick up my trailer. So this trailer really doesn't have that many miles on it. It's been sitting more than it's been driven, which isn't good, but it's solid. It's not beat to hell. Get this Ford 7000 custom cab out of here. Last time this was on the road was in 2012, it looks like, or licensed at least. I'm excited. This thing is hardly even beat to shit completely. It's only like halfway beat to shit. Tell it's not been used a whole lot. You can also tell that it's been sitting for a very long time with stuff on it. I was walking this way when all the stuff was on it, and right there completely fell through.
Already won. Never be defeated. Already won. Already won. Never be defeated. Already won.
Record my outro on my phone, which I've never done, so hopefully this goes alright. We got the trailer back. We got Mr. King's truck done and delivered. We're done with that. Woo! Woo! Got it home. One piece. I still have some tires back at Mr. King's property I have to get. I have to take some tires off of that truck and take them to him. And then there's some tin and whatnot, and I also have to pull a 13-speed transmission out of a GMC. Probably won't be the last time I'm at Mr. King's, even on video. I appreciate you for joining me on this long adventure. I think I'm gonna do less series things anymore. They might be like 3 episodes or whatever, but not this many. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, comment, do all the good stuff for the algorithm, and tell me other things you want to see me do. Have a great day, and remember, don't let your meatloaf